Mr. H here. So good to see you again. Today, we're actually going to be talking a little bit different. Today, we're going to be talking, well, about movies. We talked last time about the Planet Suite and how that influenced John Williams, the film composer, to make music for movies. But that made me get to thinking, well, what kind of people do you need to make a movie? So let's say we wanted to sit down and make a movie. Who are you going to need? Think about that for a second. We're obviously going to need like actors and actresses, aren't we? In fact, you know what? We have a list right here. So to make a movie, you're obviously going to need a few people. You're going to need a director, someone to tell people what to do and what we're going to see on screen in order to help them understand what the movie's about. You're going to need a writer, someone to write down the lines and the descriptions of the movie so that the director knows what he needs to put on camera and the people who are acting need to know what to say. You're going to need a camera person, someone who's behind the camera, who's actually pressing the button and making sure we can see what the movie is. But you're also going to need some actors too to say the lines and do the acting to help tell the story. Otherwise, it's just going to be a bunch of pictures that don't really go anywhere. But also, and more importantly, very important to the movie is the film's composer. Now, we talked about one composer last time in John Williams. But the film composer is actually very important to the making of a movie. The composer's job is to help tell the story of the movie. Even with actors and writing and all their lines, sometimes the scene needs a little more help to tell the audience what is happening. Music is actually so important to a movie that when movies were first made, you couldn't hear the actors speak. We didn't have the ability to play the actors' voices back. These were called silent movies. You could see the pictures, but you couldn't hear them talk. But even with silent movies, they still made music that was played to help the story. Yes, music was in film before actors' dialogue, and I actually have a clip here from a famous silent movie called Modern Times. Now, when you watch this movie, you're going to see them actually talk. You're going to see, if you look closely at the actors' mouths, they're going to talk, but you can't hear them. And sometimes words will pop up on the screen. That'll be the lines that are being said, but you're not actually going to see them. However, you will hear music. See, back in the day when they were showing this in a movie theater, there was still someone who was playing the piano or even an orchestra there who was playing the music so that they could have the music going with what was on screen. So the music was so important, it showed up in video before the actors' voices. So take a look. That's right. How does the music sound? Oh, she's talking, you can hear her. There he goes. Whoa, he almost fell over. So he says that. Again, what's the music telling us? And he's getting close to that edge. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, so in that scene, we had the music, we even had them talking, we saw their mouths moving, but we didn't hear what they were saying. The music was telling the story. So we're not going to watch it again. So nowadays we have famous composers all over the place. We're going to talk about a few of the more famous ones. Obviously, we all know about John Williams. We talked about him a lot. He did the music to Star Wars. He did the music to Harry Potter. He did the music to Jurassic Park and a lot of other ones. So he's that first person we see up there holding his baton. The next one down here on the right in the blue jacket, that is Hans Zimmer. He's my favorite composer. He did the music to Pirates of the Caribbean, the Dark Knight movies, and The Lion King, among the other ones. And under him, the guy with the glasses, that's Danny Elfman. Now, he did the music for Nightmare Before Christmas, the Simpsons TV show, if you've ever seen it. He did the theme to that, and the original Batman movie way back in 1989, so the older Batman movies. His music's always kind of a little funny, a little kooky. I always like listening to it, too. Now, underneath him right here, this is Alan Silvestri. Now, you've probably heard his music because he did the music to almost all the Marvel movies, like the Avengers movie, Infinity War, Endgame. I think he did a couple Captain America movies. He's done a lot of those. So when you listen to the Marvel movies, you're listening to his music. And all of these film composers have done some of the greatest music of all time, and they all help their movies sound that much better. So how important is music to a movie? Well, it is very important. It plays its own part, just like any actor or actress. In fact, some people say music is its own character. Without music, you just won't get anywhere. When it's done right, a film's music or its score can be recognized for years after the movie comes out and become just as famous. Talk about John Williams. His Star Wars score has been said to be the best film score of all time. Everybody knows Star Wars. So we're going to watch this scene both without and then with music. When we listen with music, it's going to be quiet at first. How does the scene change? Let me get it started, and I'm turning off the sound. All right, well, you got the universal thing there. We got a black screen. We got a name. We got some more names. What we got going here? Nope, it's Jaws. Okay. Some more names here. There's John Williams. He did the music. And we'll pause it right there. So, I said we will pause it. There we go. So, yeah, that was the opening to Jaws without any sound. What did you guys think? I don't know about you guys, but I just saw some, names in front of a screen and a camera floating through water. Neat. So we're going to listen to it again, but this time we're going to go back. I'm going to skip a little bit of the opening stuff. So we're going to get to about here, and we're going to listen to it with the music this time. All right, already that felt a lot different. Obviously, it wasn't totally quiet. We heard music, but it felt a little more scary, a little more sinister. When you watch that the first time, it's just a camera going through the bottom of the ocean and just floating through some weeds. But when we add that music, that's threatening, you know? What is that? What's in the water? Where's it going? What does it want to do to us? What does it want to do to me? That's how different a scene is with the movie. Now, we're going to try this one here. This is a scene from the movie The Lord of the Rings, with music is done by a composer named Howard Shore. So we're going to watch this scene, but we're not going to watch with any music whatsoever. So we're just going to turn the sound off. Then we're going to watch it again with the music. So first, with this music without the, let me say that again. With the scene without the music, I want you to think, seeing what you see on screen, how do you think the music's going to sound? What instruments are we going to hear? You know, what is the music going to try and tell us? Then we're going to watch it again, just a little bit, you know, a good chunk of it, and then we're going to see if you were correct. So let's get it started and let's turn off the sound. Let's see. I mean, it looks really nice. So there's music playing right now. What do you think it sounds like? Uh-oh. So there's some flames that are going up on a mountain. He's smiling. He's not happy. He's grumpy. He said something. So now we're going up in the mountains. We're seeing a lot of these flames getting lit. So what music do you think is happening here? What do you think the music's going to try and tell us? Look at all that go. Wow, that's some pretty stuff to look at. And that's the scene. So what music do you think was happening? What instruments do you think you were hearing? What mood was it trying to say? Well, let's try it again, this time with the sound on. So there was the scene, this time with music. Now, did you guess correctly about what it was going to sound like? Did you get kind of close? Were you way off? All these are okay. Each person might have their own opinion of what a scene should sound like, but you notice, once again, the music really changed the scene. It really set a tone. I know for me, when I was listening to it, it sounded big and adventurous, but also like it was trying to, something big is something big is coming, and everybody needs to know about it. So that's what I got when I heard the music. So this was a little glimpse into what makes music in movies so important and why film composers are so important too. Without the music, movies are really just kind of boring and they don't really tell you the full story. But music is just as important there. So I hope the next time you watch a movie or a TV show, pay a little bit of attention to what you're listening to because it'll help you figure out what's going on in the scene. Well, till we see each other again, have a nice day.